Michigan is full of beauty, which is one of the many reasons tourism is one of our state's most important industries. The geographical features of Michigan attract thousands of tourists each year. So what are these exciting features that keep Michigan's tourism industry booming? Let's start our discussion by first defining what a geographical feature is. There are two types of geographical features, natural and artificial. Natural features are ones that are made by the earth itself. These features were created slowly over time and can include bodies of water like lakes, rivers, streams, and oceans, and landforms like islands, volcanoes, canyons, and mountains. Artificial features are those that were made by people. These include cities, harbors, ports, and bridges. In this video, we will look at a few of the geographical features that can be found in our great state of Michigan, or that had a part in shaping how Michigan looks today. Believe it or not, the land and lakes of Michigan were formed by glaciers and volcanoes thousands of years ago. A volcano is an opening in the Earth's surface through which hot rock and ash can escape. Thousands of years ago, volcanoes once in Michigan erupted, making the mountains of the Upper Peninsula. Glaciers once covered large portions of North America, including what is now Michigan. Glaciers are massive sheets of ice that cover the Earth's surface and move very slowly across the land. Thousands of years ago, giant glaciers more than a mile thick carved out the shape of Michigan as they cut through the Earth's surface, and when they melted, they left behind the Great Lakes. Glaciers are also responsible for creating Michigan's sand dunes and small hills called drumlins. You now know that Michigan's interesting shape is the result of glaciers moving over the land long ago, carving out the two peninsulas, the upper and the lower. A peninsula is a piece of land that is surrounded by water on all sides but one. And what are the bodies of water that surround Michigan? Why, they're the Great Lakes, of course. In this aerial picture, you can see the snow moving slowly across the Great Lakes into Michigan during the winter. A lake is a large body of water completely surrounded by land. Lake Superior is the lake to the north or above the Upper Peninsula. Lake Michigan creates our state's natural border on the west or the left side of the state. Interestingly, Lake Michigan itself looks similar to our state's mitten or lower peninsula, only it's upside down. Huron makes up our state's eastern border. However, the lower east side of the state also touches Lake Erie. Michigan does not touch Lake Ontario. This picture is of a gorgeous sunset over Lake Superior. You can remember the names of the Great Lakes by remembering Holmes. H is for Huron, O for Ontario, M for Michigan, E for Erie, and S for Superior. Did you know that Michigan is the only state that touches 4 of the 5 Great Lakes? In fact, no matter where you are in our state, you're never more than 85 miles from one of the Great Lakes. The fact that we're lucky enough to have Great Lakes as a natural feature of our state actually leads to other features. For example, Michigan has miles and miles of coastline. A coast is the land that runs along a large body of water, like a Great Lake or an ocean. Here's a fun fact. Michigan has more than 3,000 miles of coastline that touch the Great Lakes. That's more than any other state. This picture shows a beautiful view of the coast of Lake Michigan. This scenic view shows the coast of the Grand Traverse Bay near Traverse City. A bay is a part of a lake or ocean that cuts deeply into the land. One of our state's biggest tourist attractions is Mackinac Island. An island is a piece of land completely surrounded by water. Michigan's Mackinac Island is located in Lake Huron between the upper and lower peninsulas. This island played a major role in our state's history as part of the French fur trade, which we will learn about later in the year. This map of Mackinac Island was drawn in 1860 after the boom of the fur trade had ended. This picture shows how the natural beauty of Mackinac Island is still preserved today. Michigan has other well-known islands too, like Isle Royale and the Manitou Islands, north and south. One of Michigan's best-known man-made features is the Mackinac Bridge, known as the Mighty Mac. This bridge first opened to the public on November 1st, 1957. The Mighty Mac connects the upper and lower peninsulas of our state. Travelers can drive from Mackinac City in the lower peninsula over the Straits of Mackinac to the city of St. Ignace in the upper peninsula. St. Ignace just happens to be one of Michigan's oldest settlements and was founded by Jacques Marquette way back in 1671. That's over 300 years ago. Michigan's Great Lakes and many other inland lakes and rivers created a need for other man-made features called ports and harbors. A harbor is a sheltered place along a coast where boats can dock safely. This harbor is located along the coast of Lake Erie. This busy harbor is located in the city of Port Huron. Port Huron is located at the base of Lake Huron. A port is a man-made feature where ships can load and unload their goods. Due to our many lakes and rivers, Michigan has a busy shipping industry. Businesses can carry items like iron, gravel, and even farm goods by ship from the rivers to the Great Lakes and out to the oceans to trade with the rest of the world. This picture is one of Port Austin, Michigan. As I mentioned before, Michigan has many rivers. Our longest river is the Grand River, which winds for over 260 miles. A river is a stream of water that flows across the land and empties into another body of water. Other large rivers in Michigan include the Ausable, shown here, and the Muskegon, shown here in winter. Many people in Michigan enjoy spending their free or recreational time swimming, fishing, and boating. Visitors to the Platte River, shown here, are enjoying a fun-filled day in the sun and water. The Tequamanon River gives us another of Michigan's lovely natural features called a waterfall. A waterfall is water that flows vertically from a steep height. The Tequamanon Falls are two different waterfalls on the Tequamanon River near Lake Superior in the Upper Peninsula. Many people think of Michigan as all flat farmland, but they'd be wrong. The Upper Peninsula is quite rocky and mountainous in places. A mountain is a very high landform with steep sides, much larger than a hill. The Porcupine Mountains, shown here, cover much of the northwestern part of the Upper Peninsula. Mount Arvon is part of this mountain chain and is the highest point in all of Michigan. Even the Lower Peninsula isn't as flat as some might think. Hills in the northern part of the Mitten near Traverse City can be quite high, but some softer, gentler hills can be found in central and southern Lower Peninsula too. Like a mountain, a hill is also a raised landform, but it is not as steep and is more rounded. Another raised landform in Michigan is called a dune. A dune is a ridge of sand created by the wind that is found in deserts or near lakes and oceans. Some of the most famous dunes in Michigan are the Sleeping Bear Dunes, shown here. Tourists from around the world flock to these amazing dunes each year that are named after a Native American legend about a mother bear who fell asleep waiting for her cubs to swim safely to shore after a fire. The baby she waited for later became the North and South Manitou Islands. As you can see from this video, Michigan has many special geographical features. Some are natural and others are man-made, but all are worth the trip. I encourage you and your family to visit as many as you can.